Andre Loren Benjamin, or as most of us know him, Andre 3000, is a true musical gem. He is best known for being one half of the southern hip-hop duo Outkast, which he formed in 1992 alongside fellow Atlanta-based rapper Big Boi. Once upon a time, he was arguably one of the biggest rappers in America in the early 2000s with his killer lyrics, unique sounds, and eye-catching fashion. Today, he's living a life that is not exactly expected from such a legend, a quiet and secluded one. Now, if you think it's the same old story of an artist falling off after their run is over, then you've got another thing coming. Andre wasn't exactly a fan of the lifestyle. What do we mean? He said there were times he prayed to a god he wasn't even sure existed to take all the glitz and glamour that came with being a musical icon in the American music industry. That's not something you hear from an average American rapper. Most times musicians don't ever want to leave the scene. They typically want to be in their prime for as long as possible. So what happened to Andre 3000? Buckle up as we take a ride through the life and career of one of hip-hop's most unique artists. Born on May 27, 1975 in Atlanta, Georgia, Andre grew up surrounded by a vibrant liberal culture, raised by his single mother, Sharon Benjamin, in the lively neighborhoods of East Point and Buckhead. He soaked up everything the city had to offer. Andre 3000 hit a few different academic spots growing up. He started off at Sarah Smith Elementary, then moved on to Sutton Middle School. After that, it was Northside High, McLaren Success Academy, and finally Tri-Cities High School. It was here where he met Antoine Big Boi Patton, and the two clicked. Andre was the introverted one, while Big Boi was more outspoken and older. They actually started off as rivals before their rivalry turned into a bond. Before they were Andre and Big Boi, they went by their stage names Black Wolf and Black Dog. This bond and their shared passion for rap led them to form Outkast in the early 90s, and the world was never the same again. As a teenager, Andre 3000 was a huge fan of Rakim, a hip-hop legend and pioneer musician. That's who first got him rapping at school talent shows. But it didn't stop there. He was also super inspired by A Tribe Called Quest. He even said that Q-Tip is kind of like the father of all of us. Me, Kanye, Pharrell. Now, let's give a little backstory on what formed the music group because it wasn't a smooth road to the top. You see, Outkast had their own share of rejection along the way. Imagine getting rejected by the one person you knew had a ticket to your success as an artist. Because of their distinct sound and style, they faced constant rejections from radio stations. The duo, in what can best be described as fate, met Rico Wade, a member of a record production trio known as Organized Noise. They were involved with music labels in Atlanta. On meeting Andre and Big Boi, Rico Wade took them to the studio that would later house some of the biggest stars and songs out of Atlanta, the likes of Janelle Monáe, Future, among others. This new phase sort of changed their reality so much that Andre dropped out of high school, but Big Boi, being the excellent A student that he was, found a way to balance school and music. So music was the only backup for Andre based on his decision to drop out. Wade managed to secure an audition for Outkast with LaFace Records, but the president of the label, Lloyd, was not a fan. This being just one of the many examples of rejection that Outkast faced. Lloyd was looking for pop stars, not rappers. He also wasn't convinced they were good enough or that they'd be successful. However, they didn't give up. They kept pushing with the help of Rico Wade to experiment new sounds and work on their rap game. They even practiced for future concerts by rapping whilst doing serious cardio. Talk about putting in the work. They got a second chance to meet Lloyd, and this time their efforts paid off as they became the first rap group to be signed by LaFace Records. Outkast burst onto the scene in 1994 with their debut album, Southern Playlist Cadillac Music. This album was a game changer, blending Southern hip-hop with funk and a sprinkle of psychedelic rock. It was fresh, it was funky, and it had everyone vibing. What more could you want, actually? Tracks like Players Ball and Elevators You and Me became instant fan favorites, catapulting them into the spotlight. But it wasn't just their sound that set them apart, it was their fearless creativity. Andre and Big Boi weren't afraid to be different, and that authenticity made them so popular with fans. They painted a musical picture that was their own, uniquely theirs, one that showed off their Southern roots while incorporating hip-hop. Fast forward to 1998, and Outkast dropped their sophomore album, Aquemini. This album was a masterpiece, both in concept and execution. The title cleverly combined Andre's zodiac sign, Aquarius, and Big Boi's Gemini, which made reference to their unique but complementary styles. With tracks exploring everything from social issues to personal tales, Aquemini was the album for the season. Songs like Rosa Parks and Skew It on the Barbie showcased Andre's lyrical prowess and knack for storytelling. So it wasn't just about catchy hooks, it was about weaving different narratives that told stories of the world around them. Critics raved and fans couldn't get enough. Outkast was officially on the map and they were here to stay. As part of Outkast, the duo's 6 studio albums were each met with commercial success. From hit singles including Miss Jackson, Roses, So Fresh, So Clean, and Elevators, Me and You, among others. Miss Jackson was one for the books. Andre 3000 wrote Miss Jackson in response to the difficulties in his relationship with Erykah Badu, the mother of his son. The song, A Sincere Apology, speaks to the strain of navigating love and parenthood under public scrutiny. Their 5th, a double album titled Speaker Box, The Love Below, contained a solo single performed by Benjamin, Hey Ya, which peaked on Billboard Hot 100 and won a Grammy Award for Best Urban Alternative Performance. Hey Ya was a cultural anthem. With this infectious beat and catchy lyrics, it dominated the charts and became an anthem for a generation. But don't be fooled. The song masked deeper themes about love and relationships that a lot of people could relate to. Eventually, Andre snagged a Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. Then the duo split in 2007, with Andre taking the back seat. We'll talk more on this in a bit, so keep watching. Andre became the go-to feature for artists looking to elevate their tracks. His guest appearances became legendary, often stealing the spotlight. Take his verse on Future's Ben's Friends. It was like watching a master at work. Andre wasn't just sticking to hip-hop either. He dabbled in different genres, working with artists like Frank Ocean on Solo Reprise. In the song, Andre expressed his disappointment with the direction hip-hop has taken in more than 20 years since he started rapping. He also landed his voice to A Tribe Called West on Kids from We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service album. He was also featured on 2 tracks from Kid Cudi's album Passion, Pain, and Demon Slayin'. On September 3rd of 2021, in the middle of his beef with Kanye West, Drake decided to drop the track Life of the Party, featuring Andre 3000 during his Sirius XM radio show. This unreleased gem was initially meant for Kanye's album Donda, but Andre later explained that it didn't make the final cut because Kanye wanted to keep it profanity-free. He shared his thoughts on the unexpected release, saying, "It's unfortunate that it was released this way and 2 artists that I love are going back and forth." Eventually, Life of the Party was officially released as part of the deluxe edition of Donda on November 14th, 2021. While Andre is a musical genius, he also has a knack for acting. His film career kicked off with a role in Idlewild, a musical drama that celebrated the jazz and blues of the late 1930s. Teaming up with Big Boy, the film was a love letter to their roots, and the accompanying soundtrack showed their unique chemistry. Andre also lent his voice to the animated series Class of 3000, where he voiced Sonny Bridges, a character who inspired young musicians. He didn't just stop at voicing characters, he produced the show too. Talk about being a multifaceted creative. In 2013, he took the challenge of portraying Jimi Hendrix in the biopic All Is By My Side. This role allowed him to step into the shoes of one of his musical heroes, and his performance was nothing short of remarkable. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival and received a lot of praise, further proving that Andre is more than just a rapper. He's an artist in every sense of the word. By the way, it earned him a nomination for the Independent Spirit Award for Best Male Lead. After a brief hiatus from the spotlight, Andre and Big Boy reunited to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Outkast, kicking things off at Coachella of 2014. Fans went wild. The duo's electrifying performance reminded everyone why they fell in love with Outkast in the first place. It was a nostalgic trip down memory lane, filled with hits that defined a generation. Even during the reunion, Andre continued to collaborate with other artists. He made surprise guest appearances on tracks like Erykah Badu's Hello and Kanye West's 30 Hours, proving that his lyrical game was still as sharp as ever. He even teamed up with Travis Scott on The Ends, effortlessly blending his unique style with newer sounds. We've mentioned Andre going on a hiatus a few times in this video. Let's get to the root of the issue. While Big Boy was building his solo career, Andre 3000 more or less stepped away from music. Aside from the Outkast reunion at Coachella 2014, a few random tracks, and some guest features, he stayed out of the spotlight. Part of the reason? He was done with the celebrity life. In his own words, sometimes it feels inauthentic for me to rap because I don't have anything to talk about in that way. At 49, he feels that age, while not the sole factor, does shift the focus on what you rap about. Like, what are you rapping about? I gotta go get a colonoscopy? Or my eyesight's going bad? You can make it sound cool, but gotta give him credit for an interesting sense of humor, don't you think? If you know him, you know how real he gets. He was being raw and honest, which is not something you see these days, when he said, "Because I never was, to me, a great producer or a great writer or a great rapper. I always felt like I was less than everybody else. I haven't been making much music, man. My focus is not there. My confidence is not there," he revealed. "I tinker a lot. I'll just go to a piano and sit my iPhone down and just record what I'm doing, but I haven't been motivated to do a serious project. I'd like to, but it's just not coming. In my own self, I'm trying to figure out where do I sit. I don't even know what I am, and maybe I'm nothing. Maybe I'm not supposed to be anything. Maybe my history is kind of handicapping in a way." It doesn't get realer than that. It sounds like a struggle of a man trying to come to terms with his reality. I think sometimes when people come up in the industry so young, they get thrown into all of the fame, the glitz, the glamour. They never have that moment at a young age to figure out who they are, answering those existential questions for themselves. So now, since that has been pushed back, he's going through this existential moment now into his late 40s. And it's crazy to hear this from someone who is considered to be a hip-hop legend, but it is what it is. The title of the opening track in his 2023 album, New Blue Sun, echoes this sentiment. "I swear I really wanted to make a rap album, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time." Andre has reportedly said he had tried to make rap music again, working with producers, old and new. "I get beats all the time. I try to write all the time, but people think I'm sitting on a stash of raps. I ain't got no raps like that." In 2023, Andre dropped his highly anticipated debut solo album, and fans were buzzing with excitement. This project was pretty different from his previous work, focusing on his skills as a flautist and instrumentalist. The standout track, "I Swear I Really Wanted to Make a Rap Album, but This Is Literally the Way the Wind Blew Me This Time," made history, becoming the longest song to hit Billboard Hot 100 at over 12 minutes. Talk about trend setting. Andre's live performances from New Blue Sun have drawn large crowds, proving that his connection with fans is as strong as ever. His show at ATL Jazz Fest in May of 2024 was a beautiful celebration of his artistry, with fans flocking to see him perform. Andre 3000 isn't just known for his music, he's also a fashion icon. With his style and fearless choices, he's turned heads on red carpets and stages alike. Whether rocking bold prints, vintage suits, or eye-catching accessories, Andre is a fashion icon inspiring fans and fellow artists to express themselves through fashion. His influence goes beyond music and fashion. Andre has been open about mental health, identity, and the pressures of fame. His willingness to discuss these topics resonates with fans, making him relatable. That's not something you see every time, so kudos to him. As one of the most influential figures in hip-hop, Andre 3000 has left a lasting mark on the genre. His unique sound and deep lyrics have inspired countless artists. You've got artists like Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, who grew up listening to Andre in Atlanta. Gambino has also given props to Andre, saying Outkast's influence spread wider than just Georgia. In his words, "He's Andre. He's Andre 3000. He's probably one of the best," he said. "But also, he holds a special place. I grew up in Atlanta. And yeah, it's weird. When I went to college, people were like, 'Have you ever heard of Outkast?' And I'm like, 'Yeah, they're 4 records in.' People didn't know. They were always around, and they never quite fit the Atlanta scene." Childish Gambino reportedly said that Kendrick Lamar's style of music was subtly influenced by Andre's style, that boundary-pushing approach. And Mac Miller, the late American rapper, was someone who looked up to Andre, especially as he started diving into jazz-inspired sounds. He seemed to have been influenced by Outkast growing up, and he was a fan of Andre. He was said to have hoped to meet Andre one day. He even sounded pretty stoked about the meeting at the time. These are just a few of the artists who have been influenced by the hip-hop legend Andre 3000. Well, we've come to the end of the video. What do you think about Andre 3000? Do you want more music from him? Let me hear what you think in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.